Mike, did you get out of these 2.5, 3 days what you were hoping for with this rookie group?
Yeah, it was excellent. Numbers were a little thin today with our corners, but the work, really, I would say the last 3 years, just the way the practices have been structured, tailoring it to the individuals, not only in the draft but the tryout players. So yes, we feel very good about the video that was captured yesterday, and today's practice was significantly improved. The energy was excellent. I thought they all did a great job, and the quality of the practice was really good. I mean, the quarterbacks threw the ball better and had some timing, and caught some routes, got into some a little more extended group activity, half line pass, pass under pressure. So it was a very good practice. So I'm looking forward to watching it on tape.
Mike, you've mentioned the tryout guys a couple times the last 2 days that we've talked to you. Why is that important? And can you really find some gems in that group, do you think?
Definitely. You look at the process, player acquisition. I mean, you draft players. Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into that. You sign free agents, the rookie free agents. There's a lot of work goes into that, and then the tryout players it gives you one more opportunity to evaluate, and particularly evaluate in a live environment, competitive environment, with the other young men that are part of your 90-man roster. So, yes, it's another opportunity to evaluate. So I think it's always been very important for us to do as much as we can in this rookie orientation to make sure that we give everybody a chance.
So what's next now? While you try to pick out 1 or 2 or 3 guys or whatever, what is it? Do you go over up to talk to Ted, or how does this process work now?
Well, it's an evaluation process. We met this morning with the personnel staff. There's number of scenarios that we looked at, and we'll see how the video turns out. So that's what today and tomorrow is for, and then you move on till Monday. The rookies that are all under contract they'll transition into the off-season program. Obviously, our veterans are going into week 4, so we'll take Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and transition those guys into those 4 workouts, because obviously coming off of the work this weekend, the volume is always measured, and like I said, we've done this camp now for a lot of years, so we feel like we have our hands around the proper workload that they can handle yesterday, today, and then what's appropriate for them Monday and Tuesday for sure, and then especially Thursday and Friday, because that's a long week for those guys.
A guy like Kenny Clark that has to go back to school till June, how does that affect him in the process of getting acquainted with pro football?
Well, Kenny Clark and all the young men that play at universities that are on a quarter system, this is a common practice. So there's a plan. We'll maximize the time with Kenny here today and tomorrow. So, and we'll make sure he's ready. So we have a number of guys that are in that situation, and we'll just use our experiences from the past to make sure we get them ready.
In your experiences in the past, have those guys been a little bit behind when they've come back, or have the mental reps, looking at the playbook, allowed them to stay?
I mean, they obviously don't have the reps, so I mean, there's definitely a transition period, and it's never the same for one player. So, a transition period will go into the summer, and then obviously make sure they're ready for training camp.
And Matt Murphy in that group, or he has to go?
Correct.
Anybody else, Mike?
It's the Stanford, Cal Berkeley.
Philosophically, I mean, you've been coaching a long time now, so you've dealt with this for a long time. Would you like to see that rule changed? I mean, college is supposed to get you ready for your real-world job, and now these guys aren't able to work in their real-world job because of this rule. Would you like to see that changed?
Don't really feel like touching anything like that today. So I'm just kind of focused on getting our 90-man roster completed. Make sure I got my gifts in line for tomorrow.
You said yesterday you hadn't quite had the opportunity to talk to the drafted guys. Have you had that opportunity yet?
As a group?
Yeah. No, it just.
One-on-one. Yeah, I mean, it's you can't get around to everybody in the first 2 days. So.
Yeah, I think you had 5 or 6 guys back from last year's team that were able to take part this weekend. What can they take out of this?
Well, it's great work for the young men going through the second year, because I mean, it's like anything. You want to see them make a jump and see what they've accomplished on the practice squad last year, how it carries over. So I'd say just the whole practice from day 1 to 2, it was significant, and that's common. But I thought today was probably one of the better ones. So I was very pleased with the quality of the work for a 2-day format, and really all those second year guys are a big part of that, because they're leading the way.
When the rookies get here earlier in the week, this past week, there's certainly a lot of adjustments just getting acclimated to a new building, new people. Is there then another set of adjustments when they get worked in with the veterans that have already been here?
Absolutely, and that's where the continuing education just goes on. Rob Davis and Doug Collins, and if you could believe it or not, Jason Wellers will continue to educate all the rookies under contract. We've had a rookie school, is what we've called it in the past. I can't remember when we haven't had it. So now with the rookie symposium being on site, we've really have been in that type of operation now for a number of years. So that will continue in the afternoons, but they'll go through the normal off-season program with the veterans in the morning, and then they'll do rookie school in the afternoons.
Mike, speaking of adjustments, you get a lot of young players every year. This class is no different. When you get a guy like Packer who's a little more older, a little more mature, what does that maturity do for his adjustment in terms of changing?
Well, I mean, hey, I'm excited he's here. I'm excited they're all here. I mean, this really isn't the time for evaluations. I mean, we've had a 2-day orientation camp. I mean, we haven't even practiced as a team yet, so haven't even had a team period. So, I mean, it's I like all the guys. They're bright-eyed. I thought they picked it up well. You can see as a group, everybody made a jump today.
Watching the tight end drills yesterday, there was a new energy with Brian Angelico there, working with those guys. And with Ben, with running backs, can you tell us about some of the new additions and their responsibilities during your practice? And the trick between bringing in a new voice at the same time fitting in with the structure of your coaching staff?
Well, part of the change on the coaching staff is, I think, stating the obvious. You got different personalities, you have different experiences. Really, their experience level and what they bring to the table as far as their knowledge in the past places that they worked in. So we've been able to listen, go through the installation buildings phase that we do as a coaching staff. So listen to their input, but the same page, really same breath, to get everybody on the same page. So that process is really, I would say, completed. Now it's time to coach it. So it's good to see those guys out there and their particular coaching style, and expand the fundamental drills. I mean, I think you'll see more fundamental drills, new ones compared to last year. I mean, you saw a couple of them in the last 2 days, and that will continue. So we're just trying to get better, whether it's with new coaches or the coaches that are here.
2 more, please.
As a draft dad, have you observed anything about this draft class that's different, especially unique than from years past, and you can say about them in particular?
Well, I think the biggest thing comes out of this weekend when you draft, you have a draft class, is do you really are they what you think they are? And I think that's definitely been answered. So they're bright, they communicate very well. So most big schools, so it's not too big for them, and we treat them all the same. Every single person in this camp. So from the 27 tryout players all the way through. So and that's important, because that's in line with our culture, that's in line with our program. So, but so far so good.
I think for all of us who do a lot of draft stuff, we kind of focus on inside linebackers a lot. What did you think of that group last year? Whether it was Sam year before, Ryan last year, even Joe Thomas in that dime role.
I'm not even. So you're asking me?
I guess just what did you think? I mean,
last year evaluation.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've moved on. Sam was hurt. I thought Jake did some good things as a young first-year player. He definitely is doing a really good job in the off-season program. That's been evident in the reports from strength and conditioning, nutrition, and his coaches. So Thomas looks like he's going to make a step. Carl Bradford. So it looks like they're all taking a step.
Mike, you mentioned treating all these guys the same. I don't know if anybody has the track record you guys do with undrafted free agents over the last decade. Why do you think you guys have had so much success of finding guys that aren't just guys that can make your team, but can actually be players for your team?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to, credit our personnel department, Ted Thompson, and just the way, their process is laid out, the commitment to, the players, from the fifth round, down and so forth. There's a lot of time, energy that's put into that. I think it also speaks volumes about your area scouts. I think that's really where your area scouts shine, not only from an evaluation, but the relationships and things that are built throughout their time in their area, with coaches and agents and things like that. So I think that's clearly the first thing. And secondly, it's just really a basic calming, teaching philosophy. You always teach to the youngest guy in the room. I'd say the lowest, but we've always taught to the youngest player in the room. That's something that we've been doing since day one, and it's worked for us.
You changed that last year. Are you going back to that this year? 'Cause
Well, that was an emphasis more for the veterans.